What's up, the world? It's your boy Tommy Mab, and I wanted to basically come in and give you guys my thoughts on Kevin Durant going to the Suns, Lakers picking up Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell. Just a whole shebang of what I think is essentially the best day in sports. There's nothing like the NBA trade deadline. Okay, they try to do it in the NFL, but nobody gives a shit about the NFL. I think right now because they're just boring to watch. I said this 10,000 times. They spend so much time trying to make the quarterback position a premier position that they basically made every other position There's no need for a running back anymore. Wide receivers are interchangeable. Tight ends are interchangeable. The only thing you really need right now is a quarterback that can throw 2-yard slants and guys who can run 2-yard slants. So the talent level has dropped off. People seeing amazing things they've never seen before has dropped off, and it's just boring. So nobody really cares about the NFL like that outside of maybe Lamar Jackson doing spectacular things. As far as everybody else, it's boring to watch. Like I said, they generally will end up catering it for old white guys, and before long, nobody's watching it but old white guys. And before long, they're not watching it. They're going over to mess up another sport that's gaining popularity because that's what they do. They migrate from baseball. They can't. Then black people start taking that over, and then they try to find a way to go to football and change that. Now they're doing that with football, and they're going to do it with basketball because what they do is anytime there's a great the black people dominate, they'll find a way to change the rules so that black people can't dominate anymore. And they even did it in golf, and it literally killed the sport. Tiger Woods was dominating, and then they start tweaking all the courses so Tiger Woods couldn't be dominant. Turn around, no, because if you take away the ability for the best player to be dominant, and all you do is create a atmosphere where nobody is dominant, because if he's the best player and he can't dominate, no matter how you tweak the rules for it to benefit people who look like you, it doesn't change anything. And for long now, golf is dead again. Nobody watches it, and this is exactly what I feel like is going to happen in the NFL, because they are working so hard to tweak it so that a pocket quarterback is as important, as dynamic as a running quarterback, and that will never be the case. People will never flock to see a guy step back and throw 2-yard slants, and no matter how you try to dramatize it and theorize it and create a theater out of it, nobody wants to watch it because it's just not fun to watch. Same thing with baseball. No matter how you try to do it, they took away the home runs. Now all of a sudden the home runs are no longer important, and nobody's watching it anymore. Why? Because nobody wants to see guys hitting doubles and triples. And even though Aaron Judge had this big home run year last year, it just wasn't a situation where people care. They've already seen people hit 73 home runs, and whether you try to take that record away from them or not, it doesn't change the fact that this record is there, and they've seen it before. The NBA, on the other hand, it's fast, it's innovative, it's constantly changing, it's constantly moving. When they realize the season is getting boring, people start to do things to make sure that their teams are viable, and that's what makes the NBA trade deadline so much more important than any other. The NFL draft, the NBA draft. I mean MLB is a non-factor, so is the NHL or the MLS. Nobody cares about any of those things. But out of the big three, if you want to even call it a big three, because now it's really just big two, and that's basketball and football. Those two things, no matter those two sports. You got the NFL draft, which is, like I said, football has turned into a middle-aged white guy sport now. It's no longer a sport of young people. It's more middle-aged 40-year-old white guys, and the majority of the fan bases are those guys. Now, there's still other people of different diversions who like it, yes, but that doesn't, but the overwhelming majority are middle-aged white guys. So they get a kick out of it. But for the most part, it's just not. It's not the same hoopla around the NFL draft that it used to be because it's just not connected. But the NBA trade deadline is amazing to watch, and it's an amazing situation. It's an amazing just theater. You know, it's just natural, organic theater. But that being said, when I look at and based on what I write in the title, because what the title will be, I don't really. I understand that this sounds ridiculous, and I know to a certain extent I don't even believe it, but it does seem weird, right? Every time LeBron gets a team that's valuable, all of a sudden everybody else in the league start doing everything they can to stack other teams against him. Just seems weird, right? The minute Joe Tsai doesn't want to give Kevin Durant up all summer, right? And I understand it's the trade deadline, but he had 3 years left on his contract, and they had a pretty okay team. They're like first or second they're somewhere in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference, and the Eastern Conference is weaker. So I don't understand why you would trade Kevin Durant to the Suns for some picks that are probably not going to be viable, because 3 out of the 4 picks you got, Kevin Durant is going to be on the team. So it's very highly unlikely they're going to get those are going to be high picks. So I really don't get it. I don't understand. I know that they're saying, well, we can package some picks, but at the end of the day, they may be first round picks, but they're not that valuable, considering Kevin Durant is not that old. So the Suns are set up. Now I know they're saying, well, Chris Paul won't be there, but the Suns will have wiggle room once Chris Paul leaves. They'll have somebody else to replace him with. But it just seems to me the league does things to spite LeBron sometimes, and I don't really understand it. I just don't. If you've had Kevin Durant and you could have traded him at the beginning of the year, and you did this and you trade Kyrie Irving, and you're like, oh, okay, we're going to trade KD. I don't really understand the mindset behind trading him for a bunch of throwaway players. They're young, but they're throwaway players. And some late round picks, 2 of which are protected. I don't. It seems like it's done out of spite. It seems like anytime they think LeBron James has stacked the deck, the league starts doing. Every time it seems like LeBron, because it's not even stacked deck. All they did was get D'Angelo Russell. But anytime LeBron gets a team that he can actually use well, all of a sudden the league just starts just doing. Kevin Durant goes to the Warriors. Just anything to alleviate, to stop this man from winning. And it just seems weird sometimes. And Joe Tsai in particular, it seems weird. I'm going to send him to the Suns, and I'm going to send and Kyrie Irving to Luka. I understand you want to trade about a conference because you don't want to face him. But you don't have to trade Kevin Durant. He has 3 years left on his deal. Why you would choose to trade him now when you probably could have gotten a way better pick had you just waited around for a year and see how it worked out? Now, I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe Kevin Durant threatened him, told him he'd sit out the rest of the season, that he's having a foot. Because I saw some reports saying that Kevin Durant's foot injury was different. I don't know. But what I do know is that it just seems fishy. And like I said, to understand, I don't believe it. Now that we gotten that out of the way, on paper, the Suns are ridiculous. Okay? In reality, they have an aging Chris Paul, who rarely ever stays healthy, Devin Booker, who rarely ever stays healthy, and KD, who rarely ever stays healthy, and DeAndre Ayton, who is extremely limited. The Mavs, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, nobody's worried about that pairing. At best, I mean, could you imagine them in a 7-game series against the Suns? They would get eaten alive. You can't hide Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic on defense, and Tim Hardaway Jr. You can't hide all three, right? So your starting lineup, you're probably going to be going out of the game down 6 to 8 points every time, and your bench, you're going to have to wear out on your bench. And that's, to me, is where the Suns really are kind of up shit's creek. They have no bench. The bench is extremely limited. They have no bench, and I can't see what they're going to do about getting a bench. It's weak. You got campaign and really nobody else, right? People are ragging on the Nets, but I don't think the Nets made out that bad, right? I think, obviously, you can't replace KD, but I don't think they made out that bad. I think Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas is playing out his mind right now. You gotta pay a player to build around in Cam Thomas, and you got two more players. You got a defensive stalwart when he gets his mind right, who is one of the best passers in the league, and Ben Simmons, who now will undoubtedly have the ball in his hands. He will be able to dictate the offense. He will be the alpha, right? It will be his team, and he'll be able to play the way he wants to. And I think that's a big. You got Spencer Dinwiddie, you got Dorian Finney-Smith, you got Claxton, you got a good little nucleus of players. You know what I mean? You can get it, and you got a lot of accumulated picks. And I think that with those accumulated picks, they can make some noise. I'm not saying that they're gonna be amazing this year. But they're third or fourth in the West, and with that team, I think they can get into the playoffs and make some noise. I'm not saying they're gonna win, but there'll be some amazing team. I don't think they're gonna be some amazing team, but I do think that they have the nucleus there to make to be competitive, and that's all you really want to ask, because you got all these picks. They're not from teams you want to have picks from. I mean, but you can package those into deals to get better players. They're going to have a lot of cap this summer. But once again, the free agents that are out there this summer, it's not like you're getting a huge, influx of talent. So my thing is the Nets are probably going to have to stand pat with that team they got, at least for a little while. But that being said, the Nets, the Warriors are, I can't believe the Warriors haven't made any moves. You're going to waste Clay and Steph. You got Wiseman. You got Jordan Poole. You're not using them. You got Kuminga. You got all these great players. And these guys, I hate to knock on these guys. They're great players. The problem is they're in a system in which the Warriors drafted them and didn't really need them. So because they drafted them and didn't really need them, now these players are stuck in a position where they have to fit in as role players, when most of them are not role players. They're just great players. Jonathan Kuminga is a great player. Wiseman is a great player. But they don't have a spot for them. So you sit there and you watch it, and you watch these guys, and you watch them playing. It's like, my gosh, their confidence is probably shot. But if you put them on a different team, they're probably good players. But the Warriors won't get rid of them. Wiseman is a great asset to trade and get some value for. Get a guy who's a better stretch five than a guy like Draymond Green. I think the Lakers will take Wiseman. You know what I'm saying, for a straight up trade for one of their centers, like a William Gabriel or somebody of that nature. But like I said before, it's about fit. So I can't believe the Warriors have made no deals. They've done nothing, and I don't think they are going to do anything, because I think they've kept a hold of their assets so long that they devalued them. Right? They could have last year. They probably could have got a first rounder for James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga. Now they'll be lucky if they can get a second rounder for him, and it's all because they held on to the assets too long. And I don't really understand what their mindset was because they never used them. Jonathan Kuminga, they could have let him go a long time ago. They don't use him. He has absolutely. He's a top 5 pick that they don't need. So I don't really understand that. They talking about the Lakers getting maybe Zach LaVine or Gary Trent Jr. If I had to choose out of the two, I'm definitely going with Gary Trent Jr. Zach LaVine is a great scorer and a long guy who can cause trouble, can be average on defense, but he is extremely injury prone and he is extremely unreliable. This man will have games where he scores 8 points on like 13 shots. Like you will see Zach LaVine just disappear. Like what the hell happened? He'll have a 40 point, 30 point, 40 point, and then 8. That's what he does. Because he's not that hard to stop. Now I know people think, well, you put him on next to AD, LeBron, and D'Angelo Russell, and now you got a problem. I understand that, but if you're trying to say out of him or Trent Jr., I'll take. Because Trent Jr., you can plug him in at the 2 guard, a guy who does what you need. You put him and Malik Beasley out on the perimeter, and they can knock down threes. Now you got a guy who can penetrate and attack the rim, and LeBron, a guy who can rebound and do putbacks, and Anthony Davis. You got a guy who can take you off the dribble, pass and shoot, in D'Angelo Russell. And you got 2 spot-up shooters who can shoot. That's the perfect team. You got Austin Reeve and Pat Bev, and Lonnie Young, Troy Brown, and or William Gabriel, with Thomas Bryant in your second unit. That's a hard team to beat. I wish we would have still had Russell Westbrook, but you can't work that. That couldn't work out financially. But I mean, if you would have had Russell Westbrook leading that second unit, that's a championship team all day. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, obviously it's a business. You can't keep Russell Westbrook. I knew that it was an uphill battle to keep Russell Westbrook, but people don't understand how important the bench is. The Suns will see. Right? You're gonna end up, they're gonna have to exchange minutes. One of those players, Devin Booker or Kevin Durant, gonna have to stay in there for extended minutes, and they're gonna have to switch it off. Because Chris Paul ain't gonna be able to do it. Because Chris Paul barely can play, 30, 35 minutes now without getting injured. So it's gonna be real hard, man, because Kevin Durant, quiet as it's kept, is not a real reliable guy health-wise. He has a slim frame and he gets hurt a lot. But on paper, it's Kevin Durant. Is there a lot of flaws on that Suns team? Particularly their bench? Yes. Their bench is horrible. They have no backup center. Bismack Biyombo is not going to stop somebody who decides to go small. I'm sorry, he can't do anything. Neither will DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton has slope. He's a great rim protector, but he can't guard the perimeter. So the minute that these teams start to just that threes drop, once those threes start hitting, Aiden is useless, right? But you do have Kevin Durant, who's a great perimeter guy. Chris Paul is older, but he can still defend pretty well. Devin Booker is a liability. You got rid of your best defensive stopper in Mikal Bridges. I mean, Mikal Bridges gives everybody fits. He's long, he can shoot the three, and he plays defense extremely well. So, looking at it, I'm trying to figure out why anybody would say, they're clear cut the best team. I mean, you're gonna go by just starting 5. They got a pretty good starting 5. But when you go to the 6, 7, 8 man, I mean, I don't even really make the argument that their starting 5 is that much better than everybody else's. Let's just put them against the Lakers straight up. You would say aging veteran, LeBron, Chris Paul. LeBron clearly has that. You would say, prime superstar, KD, AD. Depends on what you want. Long distance, 3-level scoring, obviously Kevin Durant. Defensively, obviously AD. Rebounding, obviously AD. Passing, Kevin Durant. So it's close. Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell. I would give that to Devin Booker, but not by much. They're both liabilities defensively, and they're both unathletic 3-level scorers who came out the exact same year, right? D'Angelo Russell has done more with less than Devin Booker did. When you put D'Angelo Russell on the Nets, he led that team to the playoffs and was in the running for comeback player of the year. D'Angelo Russell resurrected his career on the Nets. Then he went to the Warriors, and he was still getting good numbers, but it wasn't a good fit. Then they put him on the Timberwolves. He's still getting good numbers, just not a good fit. Because he needs a team that can hide him on defense and allow him to play on offense. I think the Warriors, the Lakers are best fit. Just like Devin Booker needs someone who can hide him on defense and let him play how he wants to play. I know it sounds crazy, but if the Jazz buy out Russell Westbrook, the Lakers would be crazy not to try to get him back. If the Jazz buy out Russell Westbrook, the Lakers would be crazy not to try to get him back at some type of minimum. They would be crazy. They're not trying to get him back. I don't know if they can. I don't know the logistics of it. But if they can, they'd be crazy. Then you got the best of both worlds. You got your starting point guard who can and guys who can stretch the floor, and you got Russell Westbrook who can come off with that six man and just come off and just go. I think it would be the perfect plan. You get your 6-man back, a guy who leads your second unit. But maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they want to just move on for Russell Westbrook because it's just good for both sides. I don't know. I can understand it. Want to move on for Russell Westbrook. But me personally, I would be doing everything in my power if the Jazz buy out Russell Westbrook to get him back at a lower rate. Now, would Russell Westbrook be Russell Westbrook be open to that? Don't know. But I'd rather him be playing on my team than playing against me. Russell Westbrook is a force of nature. You put him on that Clippers team to lead that second unit, that's going to be a problem. You put him on that first team to lead that first team, that's going to be a problem. Because that's what the Clippers don't have. They don't have a distributor. They don't have a guy like a Russell Westbrook. And unlike LeBron, PG is an actual good catch and shoot shooter. Kawhi Leonard is a catch and shoot shooter. So Russell Westbrook will work way better with those two than he ever worked with AD and LeBron. Because neither one of them are catch and shoot players. It was just so even though Russell Westbrook found his niche, you don't want to see Russell Westbrook if he ends up on the Clippers with Zubac and 2 catch and shoot shooters. I'm telling you, he is going to be a terror if you put him on that Clippers team. And if he has a vendetta to settle, look out. And your best defender is freaking on him is freaking D'Angelo Russell. And how the Lakers fan treated that man. You think Russell Westbrook ain't gonna try to freaking annihilate the Lakers every time he plays them? Yet he got PG and Kawhi next to him now, and Zubac in the middle, and Luke Kennard. Bunch of guys who can who he can penetrate and kick the ball to. You saw Russell Westbrook when you give him a team that can catch and shoot around him. Now he has that, yet he's got LeBron's coaching into in understanding how to slow the game down and not go 1,000 miles per hour. That's what changed him at the end of his tenure with the Lakers. Now you putting him on the Clippers with that knowledge of understanding the offenses and playing at a slower rate while still not losing sight of his of how to use his quickness to his advantage. Better hope the Clippers don't get Russell Westbrook. That's all I'm gonna say. Because when it comes around later on in the situation and everybody's like, I didn't see that coming. I'm telling you, I see it coming. That's gonna be the Western Conference Finals, and I don't want to deal with Russell Westbrook in those 7-game series. That man's crazy. He's crazy competitive and he's crazy vindictive. And he plays with a ferocity and an energy and a determination I haven't seen from anybody. They say Kobe. No. Russell Westbrook is his own entity. It's like he's a force of nature. He almost willed them to the win against with like a minute left against the OKC Thunder. He almost willed them to a win in that game with no time left. And you put him on a team with Kawhi, PG, Luke Kennard, Zubac, a guy that he can do a pick and roll and lob, and a bunch of guys who can sit out and shoot. That's different. John Wall ain't. I said that's when they were trying to talk about John Wall. John Wall ain't Russell Westbrook. You saw that this year. John Wall is a scorer who passes when he needs to. Russell Westbrook is a pass-first guard. He just can score. And you put him on that team, you better hope that that Russell Westbrook don't end up on the Clippers. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Cause and a part of me want to see it. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. As much as I root for LeBron, as much as I root for Kevin Durant, as much as I root for guys like, you know, my guys, Russell Westbrook's one of my guys, and I want to see him go. A part of me want to see him get back for how they treated that man, for all these BS the Lakers fans been doing. It would just be such poetic justice for that man to come out and end their season. Do I think he will? No, I still would pick the Lakers over the Clippers, but not by much, because D'Angelo, I do not like that matchup of D'Angelo Russell versus Russell Westbrook on that team. D'Angelo Russell and LeBron is at a point now where he's not the same defensive player he was. Now, nobody ain't pulling him out. They're not isolating LeBron. But LeBron is not good at moving, at switching on defense. He gets lazy. And when you got a PG, you got a Kawhi Leonard, you got a Zubac who's going to be rolling taking Anthony Davis away with the roll. You got Luke Kennard who's going to be pulling the defender out to the 3-point. Now you got D'Angelo Russell and Russell Westbrook on 1v1. He's going to take Russell Westbrook. He's going to take D'Angelo Russell off the dribble, penetrate. All the energy's going to go, and now you got Kawhi and PG and Luke Kennard standing out there wide open. Might cause problem. Suns, like I said, right now with that team nucleus, even if they don't add no more pieces, I like the Lakers. Because LeBron is such a versatile player that he can be whatever you need him to be. Still at 39, at 38, he can still do what you need him to do. As far as everybody else goes, it's a toss-up. The Suns, like I said, I got to see that bench. Mavericks, I'm not worried about. I think that they made a dumb decision in getting rid of Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie. You killed your defense and your bench for a guy who's going to give you what you already have abundance of, scoring. You don't need scoring. You need a defense. It was a flashy It was a flashy move that inevitably I think will end up coming back to bite him in it. But who else? Nobody else really did much. The East looks weak as hell now. Clearly the Bucks are gonna win there. Who's even left? The Nets. The East was already kind of weak, and then now you take Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving off the Nets, weak. The Hawks, weak. Miami Heat, weak. Celtics are good, kind of good. I don't know. I think if they won the West, the Celtics would probably be a 5th or 6th seed. But okay, I'll give the Celtics, the Bucks, but the Heat are weak. They're just not. It's a weak conference. You got maybe 1 or 2 good teams. Everybody else is around, but is mid to bad. So I'm not really so focused on the East because I just figured it'll be the Bucks or the Celtics, obviously. The West, though, I can't. If the Bucks make it, I think if the Bucks or the Celtics make it to the championship game, it's gonna be the West. It's the Celtics ain't gonna be able to stop Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, CP3, and DeAndre Ayton. That's just not happening. Yes, they got rid of Mikal Bridges, who was their perimeter stalwart, perimeter anchor. But KD's a pretty good perimeter anchor too. So, and the beauty of KD playing for the Suns is that he doesn't have to do what he did with the Warriors, which is essentially play 5, right? He can play his natural position of 3, so he'll be on players that are not as big, and he can play that, and you can just put in another. You can plug someone in at 4 who could stretch and play and rebound. So I think that's a good fit. I think Suns and Kevin Durant is a great fit. They just gotta get the bench. Once that bench comes in, they're good. But it's like, man, it seems like KD's a douche despite LeBron. Like, soon as LeBron get a good team, here come KD with jumping on the Suns. Like, damn, KD, can you get a man 1 year? Like, you give LeBron 1 year. Let the man win a championship or something, man. Like, soon as the man get on the team, Kevin Durant, like, hell nah, super team. Like, come on, bro. Like, let the man win a championship at 38. But yeah, if that Suns deal didn't go through, it was the Lakers. The Lakers running away with it. Who the hell gonna play against them in a 7-game series? But now, once KD jumped on the Suns, it's like, shit, I don't know now. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it's like KD does that shit on purpose. Like, just stays low-key and then just why the back. Like, come on, bro. Like, you couldn't give him a couple months, like, what he did during the summer, KD, really. But I'm just joking, obviously. KD's just doing what's best for his career. But it just seems so like, But like I said, I love the Suns. My picks will be the Suns. The winners would be the Suns and the Lakers. The Lakers supposedly ain't done. They're gonna try to bring in Gary Trent Jr. or Zach LaVine. They're still trying to bring in one more player. Now, if they get Zach LaVine or Gary Trent Jr., then clearly it's the Lakers. The Lakers would by far and away be the best team. Who is going to even compete? When you got long-range shooting, a guy that can take you off the dribble, a beast in the middle, and Anthony Davis, and a queen player like LeBron, a 3-and-D guy like Malik Beasley. You got a backup center that can protect the rim in Vanderbilt. You can't. You're not gonna be able to beat that in a 7-game series. They can play too many different ways. The Suns also can play different ways, but they have less reliable pieces. Meaning, Devin Booker is very injury prone. CP3 is very injury prone. Kevin Durant very injury prone. DeAndre Ayton's a stalwart, but he's also young, inexperienced, and extremely limited. So it's like they can't play a lot of ways. They can play a lot of ways, but they can't play as many ways as the Lakers can. So I would give the edge to the Lakers. But people will say the Suns because they're stupid, they're ignorant to how the game works. The bench in itself is a super player, right? That's why the Bucks are so good, because you got Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, but you also got a bench who's like a fourth great player. Because when you take those three off the floor, that bench is still going to expand leads. The Lakers still have that. They still have an extremely deep bench. The Suns don't have a deep bench. They got Craig, who will probably be pushed to the starting lineup when Mikal Bridges is gone, and that'll deplete their bench. They won't have anybody on their bench. They're going to lose leads, or they're going to have their starters are going to have to play extended minutes. And if you play extended minutes with a bunch of injury-prone players, it's only a matter of time before they get injured. So that's my problem with the Suns. And they're handicapped for years, at least another 2 or 3 years, at least. So if this team doesn't work, it's not like they can make a lot of pieces. Booker's making 35. CP3 making 30. Kevin Durant is making 35. DeAndre Ayton's making 30. They're done. They're gonna have to sign veteran minimum guys, and I'm sorry, Devin Booker is not that good defensively. It's gonna be like the Nets. Devin Booker's not that great defensively to be able to be just putting veteran minimum guys around him. He's too much of a liability on defense. So, I don't know. But we'll see. But like I said, love the NBA trade deadline. It's one of the funnest, awesome things in sports. I love it, love it, love it. So, please comment. Let me know what y'all think. What are y'all ideas on the movers and the shakers during the trade deadline? And we can talk about it. All right, y'all. Peace.